रञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome back to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Southern Division. We have been discussing the scriptural proofs for the 64 qualities which are present in Krishna. Yesterday, we began with the 28th quality, that is Sama, Raga Dvesha Vimukta Yaha Samasa Katito Budhe. And then we saw references for that, then Vadanya, and then Dharmika. One who engages himself in Dharma and engages others also in Dharma is Dharmika. And then saw Sura, hero, who is energetic in fighting and skillful in use of weapons. Two definitions are there. For both, there is a scriptural reference. Then Karuna, mercy. Yesterday we discussed a lot about the mercy aspect, compassion. And Manyamana Krita. One who worships Guru, Brahmanas, and elderlies is called a respectful person. And then Dakshina. One who is mild due to his excellent nature is called compliant by the intelligent. So yesterday we saw this also. Today we are going to see quality 35. Vinaya. Vinayi. Vinayi means one who is very humble and uh, it's opposite of pride, humility. Vidya Vinaya Sampanya, as it is mentioned. A person who is devoid of arrogance. Audatye parihariya is called modest. Katyate vinayati iti aso. So here you can see Yudhishthira Maharaj is lying on the bed, and when he gets up, both Arjuna and Krishna come and wake him up and massage his legs. Always as an etiquette, Krishna followed. Yudhishthira Maharaj was elder to him, so he used to come and bow down at him. And Arjuna, he used to embrace him. So like that, and Nakul and Sahadev is to bow down to Krishna because they were younger to him. So he followed all these etiquettes. And here you can see beautiful in this picture. Yatha Magya Kave. So in the Magya Kave it is mentioned, seeing that Yudhishthir Avaloka Esha Nripate Sudruta wanted to alight in haste from his chariot on seeing Krishna, Ra Basat Ratad Avatirtum Ichchata, Krishna himself, Atmana Harir, by getting down from his chariot first out of great respect for Yudhishthira, Avatirnavan Pratamam showed more modesty than anyone else. Vinayam Visheshayati Sambramene Saha. So I don't know the context because we'll have to study this and find out the whole pastime, what is happening. Rup Goswami is only quoting the verse. Let us see what is there in the commentary. Any person who neither becomes impudent nor exhibits a puffed up nature is called gentle. Pride. You know, puffed up nature is pride. And examples of Krishna's gentle behavior was manifested when he was coming to the arena of Rajasuya sacrifice arranged by Maharaj Yudhishthira, Krishna's older cousin. So this is in that context that verse is there. Maharaj Yudhishthira knew that Krishna was the supreme personality Godhead, and he was attempting to get down from his chariot to receive Krishna. But before Yudhishthira could get down, Lord Krishna got down from his own chariot and immediately fell at the feet of the king. My goodness. Even though Krishna is the supreme personality Godhead, he never forgets to show social etiquette in his dealings. So this is, how the Lord maintains the social etiquette. And this is also quoted in Prabhupada in one of his commentary in the Bhagavatam, in the first canto, 7th chapter, I think, verse 4 or 5, that he followed all the social etiquettes. While he was leaving, he bowed down to Yudhishthira and embraced Arjuna, and Nakula and Devda, so they bow down to him. That's what I was mentioning. Okay. Rinam. Gyate smara rahasya ne kriyamane stave athava Shalinatvena Sankocham Bhajan Riyaman Udirate. A person is called bashful. Riyamana Udirate, who is shy, Sankocham. He's shy to ask, whether to ask or no. When praised by others, Shalinatve Bhajan. Or when he thinks others are aware of his secret love affairs. Gyate Smaran Rahasya Anne Kriyamana Stave Atva. This is because of modesty, Shalinatve, or his unfathomable nature. So modesty is an unfathomable nature. So, uh, what to speak in today's world, others should not become uh, aware of the secret love affairs. This is modesty, and today everything is publicly displayed, and they think that itself is very great. That is a very degraded quality. And in Kali Yuga, it is rampant everywhere. Okay, Jiva Goswami. He acts shyly when he thinks that his secret love affairs are known by others. He also knows shyness when praised by others. Such a person is called bashful. This is because of his modesty, Shalinatve, or by his unfathomable nature. The example follows. So the example is there, Yatha Lalita Madhave, Lalita Madhava. All glories to the enemy of Madhu. Madhu Namit Tasyo Madhu Ripa, who made Govardhan Hill shake slightly. Karot Kampa Dishat Chalati Kila Govardhan Giro, by the weight of the glancing upon the expanse of the gopis' upraised breast. Daro Danchat Gopi Stana Parisara Prekshana Bharat, and who hung his head in shame, Smitamukam, when he saw Balram smiling before him. Puro Drushtva Ramam is Balram, while he was being praised by the fearful cowherd men. Bhaya Artir Arabda Stutir Akila Gopehi. So Krishna was enjoying his Madhurya pastimes, and when he saw, the gopis' upraised breast, Govardhan shook a little bit, and Balram came to know, and Krishna that's why hung his head. Whereas at the same time, because Govardhan hill was shaking, The elderly Gopas were fearful and they were praising. All this was happening simultaneously. From thinking of Krishna's tender boy, the cowherd men became afflicted with fear. Bhaya arthe. From seeing Krishna's power, they began to offer his prayers, supplications to encourage his valor. In front, he saw Balram, who was smiling because Balram knew Krishna's powers. Because of his shy nature, he hung his head in embarrassment. So, this is one thing. So, there is the fear, oh, how will he hold this huge? He's a tender boy. So, that is the Vatsalya Bhav. And then they understand Krishna's power. Oh, he has killed so many asuras. So, they began to offer prayers. And hearing these prayers, Krishna is feeling shy, and Balram is in front of him and he's smiling. And Balram knows the powers of Krishna. So Krishna feels shy, and he puts his head in embarrassment. All glories to that money enemy of Madhu, demon. So such a beautiful quality. This means may he appear within the heart of the devotees with all his excellent qualities. The word killer in the verse has the meaning of how is this happening? It is said, seeing the smiling Balram, Krishna hung his head. Thus, the word Kela indicates that there is a doubt whether Balram understood that the mountain was slightly moving because of Krishna's hand shaking from seeing the gopis' breast. Thus, because of the indication of doubt expressed in the word killer, it is understood that Balram actually did not know the reason of Krishna's hand moving. But even though his love for the gopis was still secret, Krishna acted bashfully out of his own nature. This is the indication. Very beautiful commentary by Jiva Goswami. Further, it would have been improper for Balram to observe Krishna looking at the gopis' breast. Also, by Krishna's quality of inscrutability, he could make everyone unaware of his real feelings while actually maintaining those feelings. We had discussed this, one of the quality, inscrutability. And there are two shades in it also we had discussed, if you remember. So he could make it unaware and that he's maintaining these feelings. The word killer, which indicates some doubt placed in the first of the verse, can only indicate that perhaps the mountain was moving because of his shaking head. Because of this, other interpretations are not accepted. Let's see what Prabhupada has to say. A person who sometimes exhibits humility and bashfulness is called shy. As described in the Lalit Mother, Krishna's shyness was manifested when he lifted Govardhan hill by the little finger of his left hand. All of the gopis were observing Krishna's wonderful achievement, and Krishna was also smiling at seeing the gopis. When Krishna's glance went over the breast of the gopis, his hand began to shake, and upon seeing his hand shake, all the cowherd men underneath the hill became a little disturbed. Then there was a tumultuous roaring sound, and they all began to pray to Krishna for safety. So this all, Vrindadevi orchestrates these pastimes in such a way in order to increase rasa. At this time, Lord Balram was smiling, thinking that these cowherd men had been frightened by the shaking of Govardhan hill. But seeing Balram smile, Krishna thought that Balram had understood his mind in observing the breast of the gopis, and he immediately became bashful. So Prabhupada gives, very nice understanding of the whole pastime, again following Jiva Goswami. So the next quality is 37, Sharnagata Palaka. Palayan Sharna Pannan Sharnagata Palaka. He who protects those who surrender, Palayan Sharna Panna, is called protector of the surrendered, Sharnagata Palaka. Yatha, O fever weapon, Vitrasam, though you are an offender in this battle, Tvam Atra Smare Samare Kritaparadyapi, give up your fear, Jara Parihara, because the best of the Yadus, Krishna, Yadavendroyam, acts like a moon, Indavati, towards those who completely surrender to himself. Sadhya Prapadyamane Yad. So in this which context again this is being spoken? Again, this is a Bhagavatam verse, especially from the 10th canto. Let us see. Prabhupada, protector of the surrendered souls. Krishna is a protector of all the surrendered souls. Some enemy of Krishna was enlivened with the thought that he need not fear Krishna because if he simply surrendered into Krishna, Krishna would give him all protection. Krishna is sometimes compared to the moon, which does not hesitate to distribute its soothing rays, even on the houses of Chandalas and other untouchables. So, in what context that verse is spoken, maybe we'll have to study it in detail and then we will get an understanding. Here, since the point of Sharanagati has come, I would like to elaborate a little bit. Uh, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book Sharanagati, Shadanga Sharanagati Hoy be jahar, tahar pratana sune, Nanda Kumar. There are these 6 limbs of Sharanagati, Anukulasya Sankalpa, Pratikulasya Varjanam, Rakshishe iti Vishwaso, Groptrutve Varnam Tata, Atma Nikshepa Karpanyam, Shadvida Sharanagati. So, doing things which are favorable for Krishna consciousness, which help us to remember Krishna, and avoiding those which are unfavorable for our Krishna consciousness. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjam. Rakshisheti vishwaso. Krishna will protect me. Goptrut mein. Krishna is my palana. Atmanikshepa, humility, karpanya. Atmanikshepa is self-surrender, surrender of the soul. So these are the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. Only when one begins the practice of Sharanagati, Sharanagati is the beginning of pure devotion. And within that Sharanagati, also there are degrees of Sharanagati. And when one comes to this point of Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, then one begins pure devotion. So the Sharanagati quality is very, very important, and one should study very elaborately Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajans on Sharanagati. An entire song book is written. And there, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the song, Dainya Atma Nivedan, Goptrutve Varan, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna, Vishwasa Palan, Anukul Matra Karya Svikar, Pratikul Matra Karya, Kare Varjan Angikar. And I'm not able to exactly remember the song, but basically, Bhaktivinoda Thakur begins with the Dainya, because this unless we develop this Dainya Bhav, which is very, very, you can say, conducive emotion, the practice of these songs of Sharanagati will induce humility of the soul. And with this practice of Sharanagati, we can practice the emotions of Sharanagati to enter into the bhakti emotions, the spiritual emotions of bhakti, because we are studying now Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, which is dealing with spiritual emotions. So bhakti is not something which is to be cultivated, because bhakti is the spiritual potency of the Lord, the Antaranga Shakti of the Lord. When the Antaranga Shakti descends in the heart, then uh, empowered and induced by the internal potency, there are actions performed out of love uh, under the shelter of the internal energy. So this is directly orchestrated by the internal potency of the Lord, which is the Lagani Shakti and the Samvit Shakti together, which forms the Bhakti Shakti. So what we can practice is uh, the emotions of Sharanagati. And these 6 limbs, we should have this faith that Krishna will protect me. Krishna is my maintainer. So among these 6 limbs, uh, Goptrutve Varnam Tata is called as the Angi, and all other are called as the Angas, because within that, all the 5 are included. So It's a very important subject, and time doesn't permit us here, but one should study the Sharanagati, and it is a very, very suitable practice of practice of emotions of Sharanagati, which one should do so that we can enter into, Sharanagati. And once we enter into Sharanagati, then Krishna avashya rakshibe. Krishna will be protecting us. But if we take shelter of the external energy and sometimes shelter of Krishna, then Krishna will think. So there is that famous Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Acharya after Ramanacharya. I'm not able to recollect his name. And when he was taking darshan of Ranganath, he heard a story of a hunter who was about to, shoot a rabbit with his bow and arrow. The rabbit understood it is death personified in front of me. So he bowed down humbly and he circumambulated this hunter 3 times. And just seeing this surrendered state of the rabbit, the hunter's heart melted and he, decided not to kill it. So I'm not able to recollect this Acharya's name. Very famous Acharya after Ramacharya. Parashar Bhatt. Yes, Parashar Bhatt, I think it is. I think, I am not able to recollect it. So when he heard this, so suddenly he collapsed. He fainted and collapsed. He said, if a hunter who is cruel at heart, if if an animal like a rabbit surrenders and he melts, what must be the Lord who is an ocean of mercy and compassion? And if we surrender, why will he not protect us? So that's what, he states there. Okay. Krishna is the protector of all surrendered souls. Some enemy of Krishna was enlivened with the thought that he need not fear Krishna, because if he simply surrendered unto him, Krishna would give him all protection. Some enemy, I don't know in what context this whole pastime is, but I told up till now what we have discussed. Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, so then we will go ahead. So by a trace of sorrow. Dukkha Gander Apya Asprishtascha is called a happy person. Sukhi Bhavet. Yes, Sudhanshu Dikshit Prabhuji. Yeah, there was some problem with the connection. Yeah, Sudhanshu Prabhuji. Yes, now unmuted
Hare
you.
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, of course, it is not related to today's class. Still, I want to understand this, this six symptoms of surrender or six limbs of surrender. In that, the last one is the Atmanichepa, which
Mm.
also seems like surrender. Then again, surrender within surrender, again the limb is surrender. How to understand?
That's why surrender is a very, very deep topic. Uh, Uh, all these six limbs, like when you have humility, then you're a surrendered soul. There is a humility of the soul. That is a surrendered soul. And, when you're surrendered to your master, you'll act favorably and you'll See that you don't act unfavorably. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikalasya. And when you know that your master is going to maintain you, then that consciousness is there. So it is basically a consciousness, state of consciousness. And Prabhupada gives one classic example with his own life experience. When Prabhupada, as a Grahastha, he had children, and in Calcutta, there are these trams, sort of a city local trains. And, Prabhupada's son was very naughty and he just climbed. Prabhupada was, climbing and he just sat. And then the ticket person came to ask the ticket, and this person doesn't know anything. So he just went to the father. He knows the father will take care of him. So that is a consciousness, a state of consciousness, that surrendered consciousness is there. And these different aspects are there in it. And if you study the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Eastern Division, the 64 limbs, ultimately there is the 9 limbs of Sharanagati, nine limbs of Bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandam Dasyam, Sakyam Atmanivedanam. So there is Atmanivedanam. So why only Atmanivedanam can be there? Why not? Why there is no Nindra Shravanam Kirtanam Smaranam? So when you hear, that hearing is a sign of surrender. Just like a chaste wife who is surrendered to the husband, she will hear very attentively whatever the husband speaks. And when there is love and surrender, you'll always remember your beloved. Susmaranam and Pujanam. When you're surrendered, you worship. So, like that, there are these different facets of that surrendered consciousness. And that's why I said, not to complicate too much. It's a vast subject, but I hope a little bit idea you're able to get what we discuss now. Is it okay for now?
Yes, so means Atmanishipa is the condensed form of the getting slowly, then Atmanishipa. What I understood that.
Atmanivedanam is what?
Like Anukulasya Sankalpa, Pratikulasya Vajanam, like this are there. But Atmanishipa is the condensed form getting slowly. Atmanishipa completely surrender. Is it like that?
No, not really like that. I told you it is that surrendered consciousness has the different facets, and that's why humility is also a sign of surrender. So all this, and then in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there is surrender of the body and surrender of the soul. So they are again at different levels. So like that, it is a vast topic. That's why I suggest that everyone should study Sharanagati. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written an entire book on Sharanagati. So it's a vast topic. So surrender, is basically it's a state of consciousness that you have to understand. And it manifests in humility, it manifests in doing actions which are only favorable for Krishna's, hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna. So like that, remembering Krishna. So like that. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions or clarifications up till now, what we have discussed? Okay, so we will go to the next quality. Sukhi. Bhokta cha sukha gander ap asprishtas cha sukhi bhavet. There is no touch of trace of sorrow in him. That's why Krishna is called in the Bhagavad Gita as what? Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwara. So Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Ruchati. So this verse is a very important verse for us to understand. As we start practicing Krishna consciousness, we have been trying to enjoy in this material world and suffering, but being pious, we come to Krishna and realize to a certain degree that I am not the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer. But that consciousness doesn't go away so easily. Maybe I'm not enjoyer of this entire world. Sarvaloka Maheshwara. I'm the enjoyer of my home, my family. So to some degree that still that Bhagavan consciousness is maintained, Bhokta consciousness. But Bhokta is only Krishna. And the subtlest is Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. I am actually the well-wisher friend of everyone. Sometimes you help someone who is in financial trouble, you help him, because that subtle seed is there that I am the well-wisher of this person. So I am God in one sense. So we have to understand at a very deep level that as long as we have this consciousness of Bhoktaram, of not Sarvaloka Maheshwar, but at least the Maheshwar of my house or my wife or my family. And we all realize when we try to control others, it hit backs. So Krishna is designed like that. So, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. This is, very difficult, very subtle, very difficult. Only then one can become peaceful. And many times the word Bhokta in the Bhagavad Gita comes up. Anyone remembers where all in the Bhagavad Gita does Krishna say, Aham Bhokta? You need not refer the Veda base like I'm referring. I'm referring to show the verse, but if anyone remembers where Krishna has used the word Bhokta, let us see how well devotees have been studying the Bhagavad Gita. Any Anywhere else in the Gita, Krishna has used the term Bhokta? Anyone remembers? In the 13th chapter, verse 23, Upadrushtacha Anumantacha Bhartaha Bhokta Maheshwar Paramatmeti Chapyukto Dehesmin Purusha Paraha Bhokta. Krishna is a Bhokta, supreme enjoyer. Prabhupada doesn't say just enjoyer. Prabhupada's translation is so precise. And again in the 9th chapter also, it comes up. I think in uh, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasam Bharta. Bharta is there. Bharta is sustainer. Anyone else? 9.24. 9.24. Let us see. There it is. Yes. Aham cha sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhu cha. Yes, even I was looking for this bhokta, the enjoyer. He is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So here also Krishna many times in the Gita comes, but here is a very beautiful definition given by Rupa Goswami of what is a bhokta, not touched by a trace of shadow. Tatra adhyo yatha. O best of the Yadus, Yaduvara, the quantity of your jeweled ornaments, Ratna Alankar Bharastava, cannot even be imagined. Vrittahapya alabhya by Kubera wealth. Dhanada Manorajya. The singing and dancing taking place at your door cannot be imagined by Indra. Damboli Paner Ape, Duradi Gamam Dwari, Tauryatrikam Cha. Tauryatrikam is Indra. Even in his dreams, Sapne, at your side, Parshve, constantly Nityam, are beautiful women, Prachur Kanta, who enjoy all your attractive limbs, Sarvanga Bhaja, who are decorated with the tips of your moon-like fingernails, Shashi Kala, and who are thus superior to the wife of Shiva, Gauri Garishtaha. In this world, there is no enjoyer like you. Bhuvane kas tvad anyo sti bhogi. So this is there in the Tatra Adyo Yatha. I don't know where exactly again this verse comes in. Let us see. This is a verse sung by a bard. I think bards are those professional reciters who recite the glories of the kings. Of course, it's not artificial glorification, but as per their qualities, which is mentioned, which they indicate also. Shashikala can mean who are decorated with the tips of the fingernails or marks of the fingernails, which are like many moons. Or in reference to the wife of Shiva, Gauri, it can mean who possesses only a one digit of moon, which is situated on Shiva's forehead. So there are Shodasha Kala, 16 phases. One is the no moon day, the full moon day, and in between, there is that one crescent. So that is called as one digit. So that can also refer Shashikala. Kanta Sarvanga Bhaja can mean who enjoy all the attractive limbs of Krishna, or it can mean in reference to the wife of Shiva who shares half the body of her beloved. Thus, the alternate meaning is you are accompanied by many women who are superior to Gauri, Shiva's wife, because they enjoy all your limbs, whereas she enjoys only half of Shiva's body, and they are decorated with countless moons on your fingertail tips, whereas she is decorated with the reflection of only one moon on Shiva's forehead. So there is a comparison done here. Krishna enjoys many women. In that sense, you know, these women are superior to Gauri because Gauri only enjoys only half Krishna's Shiva's body, and Shiva is only decorated with the one digit moon, but Krishna's fingernails are all compared to moons. So many moons are there. The pun on words is apt because it shows their superiority to Gauri. So this is in a joking way mentioned. Again, I told you this is the whole science of rasa. Uh, to increase the rasa and deeper tattva is brought out. Okay, Prabhupada, happy. Any person who is always joyful and untouched by any distress is called happy. As far as Krishna's enjoyment is concerned, it is stated that the ornaments which are decorated the bodies of Krishna and his queens were beyond the dreams of Kuvera, the treasurer of heavenly kingdom. The constant dancing before the doors of Krishna's palace was not being able to be imagined even by the demigods in the heavenly planets. In the heavenly kingdom, Indra always sees the dancing of the society girls. But even Indra could not imagine how beautiful were the dances being performed in the gates of Krishna Palace. I think it is from Dwarka Leela only. Last time. Gauri means white woman, and Lord Shiva's wife is called Gauri. The beautiful women residing within the palace of Krishna were so much whiter than Gauri that they were compared to the moonshine and they were constantly visible to Krishna. Therefore, no one can be enjoying more than Krishna. The conception of enjoyment is beautiful women, ornaments, and riches. So, this is the conception of enjoyment. Prabhupada is giving an additional insight. What does enjoyment mean? Conception. At the root, enjoying women, beautiful women, ornaments, and riches. And all of these were fabulously present in the palaces of Krishna, defeating even the imagination of Kuvera, Lord Indra, or Lord Shiva. Dvitiyo Yatha, the second one, no trace of sorrow. O wife of the Brahmanas, not even a trace of sorrow can touch Krishna, for in him there is no destruction, no hanim, no decrease, no mlanin, no suffering in household affairs. Nija graha kritya vesanitam. So in household affairs, there is no suffering. And household people know how much suffering is there in household life. No cause of fear, no ghoram, and no worry, no grunam. He does not know any of the suffering of this world. Na kila kadanam vetti kim api. He is eternally engaged in amusing himself in Vrindavan with beautiful women. Hari Vrindarane Param Anisham Uchcher Virhanti, who are perfect, the best of her friends, and held the highest love. वरांग भी संगीकृत सुहृद ananga bhir abhito. So again, I don't know from where this verse is from. Let us see if we can get some from Jiva Goswami or Prabhupada's commentary. This is a statement made by a messenger of Krishna acting as a go-between with the wife of the Brahmanas. So again, I think uh, this is the Yagyik Brahman's pastime. Maybe there this verse is there. Ghoram terrible here means that there is nothing to fear for him. Thus, he has no fear at all. Udgranam means anxiety. Sangi krita surid anangabhi varangabhi virati means he consorts with beautiful women who are perfect, the best of the friends, possessing the highest love. Though all these things are stated concerning the Lord, it must also be implied that he is not totally ignorant of these things. Thus, what is pointed out here is Krishna's great power to remain without confusion in all such circumstances. Not even a slight distress can touch Krishna. Prabhupada. Once some of the gopis went to the palace where the Brahmanas were performing sacrifice and said, "Dear wives of the Brahmanas, you must know that not even a slight smell of distress can touch Krishna." So the pastime detail Prabhupada is mentioning, once some of the gopis went to the place where the Brahmanas were performing sacrifices and said, "Dear wives of Brahmanas." So the gopis addressed the wife of the Brahmanas and they said, "You must know that not even a slight smell of distress can touch Krishna. He knows no loss, he knows no defamation, he has no fear, he has no anxiety, and he does not know calamity. He is simply encircled by the dances of Raja and is enjoying their company in the Rasa dance." So this is what enjoyment means. We cannot fathom, the depth of what actually Purusha means enjoyer, and Krishna is only the Purusha. Okay, quality 39. It is Bhakta Surit. Okay, there's one question. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Like, he's the source of all the everything. So the qualities that we are reading now are, but now what we read is in these last two that he doesn't, what is anxiety? He doesn't know anything. He doesn't have that trace, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what is the source of all these qualities?
Source of whose? Krishna's
All
qualities.
these of these negative what we feel, what we humans are
Okay, okay,
mostly
but
feeling.
I got a question. So these qualities also come from Krishna.
Okay.
Everything comes from Krishna. But we being in the conditioned state, in the material energy, we get affected by these negative qualities. And because of the influence of the modes. But everything comes from Krishna. But for Krishna, it doesn't make, there is no differentiation. But for us, in the conditioned state, there's differentiation. And that's why we get affected. So, but Krishna doesn't get affected, although all these qualities come from Krishna. So if you see in the Bhagavad Gita, there is this verse 10.4, I think. Yes. बुद्धिर्ज्ञान असम्मोह क्षमा सत्यम दम शमो सुखम दुखम भवो अभवो भयम चा भयमेव च अहिंसा समता तुष्टिस् तपोदान यशो यश भवन्ति भावभूतान मत एव पृथक विदा. Krishna is saying, intelligence comes from me, knowledge, freedom from doubt, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of happiness and distress. So both birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, all these very are created by me alone. So although Krishna creates this quality, Krishna doesn't get affected by it. That's the point we have to understand very clearly. Krishna doesn't get affected, but we being in the material energy, we can get affected by it. So all these are again manifestations of Krishna. But as we take shelter of the internal energy, although there is material distress, we are able to transcend it because we are under the shelter of the spiritual energy. And that's how we can transcend. Uh, there is a there is a saying, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So when the pain comes, the suffering also comes, but you can transcend the suffering by being situated in the transcendental position. Okay, any other questions up till now? Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
You have to speak a little loudly, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I had a question that how can we be out of this feeling of
No, the voice is very feeble, Mataji.
Hare
Maybe
Krishna?
you can type the question and then I will take up at the end of the class. You can just take your time and type the question. because until I clearly hear the question, it is difficult to grasp what exactly you're trying to say. Yeah, fine. Bhakta Surita. Swasevyo dasa bandhuscha dvida bhakta surin mata. There are two ways, Dvida, in which Krishna is friendly to devotees. Bhakt surin mata, being easily served, Susevya, and being a friend of his servant. Dasa bandhuscha, one who can be easily served. And he is the friend of his servant. So he can see here one of Krishna's friend is serving Krishna so easily. Krishna is putting his hand. And then he's a very good friend of his servant also, Krishna. So beautiful, huh? Usually in the material world, when the master is served by the servant, it's not so easy to serve them, firstly, and never the master considers the servant as his friend. There cannot be any friendly relationship. It's only all possible in the spiritual world, these transcendental qualities. How can we come out of the consciousness that I am the enjoyer? You practice Krishna consciousness, slowly, slowly Krishna will, purify the ahankar. And slowly, slowly, this consciousness from the gross level to subtler, subtler, subtler levels with the practice of bhakti, with the advancement of bhakti, slowly, slowly, you will, get that realization that I am not the enjoyer. Krishna will make you realize it. So don't worry about it. There will be unlimited, ample opportunities in the association of devotees how to realize that I am not the enjoyer, that the kind consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is very, very purifying in the association of devotees. Okay. Yeah. So these are the two ways. Very beautiful quality, being easily served and who is a friend of his servant. Yeah. Tatra adyo yata Vishnu dharme. Tulsi dal matrena jalasya chulake cha vikrinite swam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. If the devotees offer only water and tulsi leaves to the Lord, tulsi dala matrena jalasya chulkena vacha, the Lord being affectionate to the devotees, bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala, puts himself under the control of the devotees. Vikrinite swam atmanam. Vikrinita means he gets sold to his devotee. He comes under the control of his devotee just by offering a tulsi and some water. And the famous pastime, this verse is also there in the Gautami Tantra, and similar verses there also in the Vishnu Dharma. How Advaita Acharya to Shaligram offered, and from the Hunkar cry, he called out, and the Lord became obliged to come down. In this verse, Jiva Goswami, yeah, Vikrinitam, I was mentioning, how the Lord uh, becomes completely sold out to his devotee, and he's ready to do anything for his devotee. He's ready to risk anything. And there is the famous pastime I'm recollecting of Sant Tukaram. Sant Tukaram was so pure and innocent. He was absorbed in bhajan. And his wife was telling, there is nothing at home, go and sell something and, get some money. At last he decided, he took a bullock cart, loaded all the chili, and came somewhere south. And it is heard that somewhere near, I don't recollect it, somewhere near Karwar, he came all the way from Pandharpur to sell his goods. And in the open market, he put the bullock cart with sacks of chili and, come take, and for, I don't know, that time the measurement pav or ser, And while he was giving, he was so magnanimous, he was giving, and there was barter system, the others have to give. in exchange something, but they were, he was not so, worried about it. Oh, they saw that this person is not a shrewd businessman. So slowly, slowly, they started coming and taking more and more quantity of chili. And ultimately, you know, they told, oh, we have in our home grains, we will get it. Okay, okay, get it, take and go, Sant Tukaram. So everyone, got like this, as much chili quantity they wanted, chili or grains, I don't remember. And then the news went to one of the, you know, Mukhia, who was a big goon in that village. And when he heard, he sent his servants, go and get 2 bags of chili. So they went and told, our head of the village, wants to buy. You can take. Oh, he'll come and give you in exchange. Oh, let him come. No problem, no problem. So Sant Tukaram sold out everything without getting anything back. They did not, return, and nobody had the intention to give back. And he's peaceful. Everything is sold, but no money has come back or exchange has come back. And he's peacefully cooking his rice. So Lord Krishna took the form of a boy and he said, my Lord, what are my devotees? Now I'll have to go. I'll have to go and, collect, the exchange or the money equivalent. So Krishna knows everything. So Krishna went to each and every house and he told, my master sold you today so much and you have bought so much. So kindly give him the money or the exchange. They were wondering, how did this boy know? He was not there. But he was speaking exactly the truth. So they could not say anything. So he went on collecting, and here Sant Tukaram is cooking and offering the bhoga and taking prasad, and there Krishna is wandering from one house to another house collecting, the amount for whatever is sold, you know. And ultimately, he went to this goon's house, who was the mukhya, and he said, we have taken 2 sacks. My master is asking. So he was, like a rowdy. He said, I won't give. You go, get lost. I won't leave from here until you give. So there was a huge tumultuous, uproar in the, in the house. All the people assembled. Then this boy said, if you don't give, then I will hang myself here. Oh, if you want to hang. So the boy really took a rope and he started hanging himself. All the villagers came and there was huge uproar. And then this person also became scared. No, 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 I'll give you, I'll give you. So, to what extent Krishna went that he was ready to hang himself? And Krishna was completely under the control of and love of his devotee Sant Tukaram. So, this is the quality uh, of Krishna. And this quality is also manifested in his pure devotees. There is that famous pastime of Prabhupada when he was in Mayapur, in that small hut. There were the pujaris who were serving Radha Madhav. And Prabhupada had his female disciple Mataji, Sham Sundar Prabhu's wife. I'm not able to recollect her name. Anyone recollects can type the message. Sham Sundar Prabhu's wife's name. Anyone knows? Her daughter's name was Saraswati. Anyone knows? Uh, Malti Mataji. Malti Mataji. Yes, it is Malti Mataji. So Malti Mataji was serving Prabhupada in that bare facilities, and she had a Herculean task of cooking Prabhupada, cooking bhoga for Prabhupada, and serving Prabhupada. And in India again, you get easily cheated. She had to cross the Ganga, buy the vegetables, again cross the Kamba, come back. There were bare facilities, lot of trouble, mosquitoes, health problems. And Prabhupada God brothers had come to seek over Prabhupada in that hut, and Prabhupada knew that they did not favorably see that these women are serving a sannyasi. Prabhupada knew that. So Prabhupada, Shmalti Mataji came to serve something when the God brothers are there, and Prabhupada said that she is ready to cut her throat for my service, and I am ready to cut my throat. When Malti Mataji heard this statement, all the distress, what she was undergoing in that service, everything evaporated. So that is the kind of dedication she had to her spiritual master Prabhupada. And Prabhupada had that same dedication also. And we can imagine this quality, what must be there, like in an ocean, uh, in Krishna. Well-wisher of his devotees. It is said that Krishna's devotees, even if they offer even a little water or a tulsi leaf in devotion to Lord Vishnu is so kind that he will sell himself to them. He'll sell himself to them. Dvitiyo yata pratame. So this is from the first canto. Swanigamam apahaya mat pratigyam ritam adhikartum avapluto ratastha dhrita rata charano bhayacha chaladeur harir ivahantum ibyam gatottari. This is Bhishma's prayers. Fulfilling my desire, mat pratigyam, the sacrificing his own promises. Swa nigamam apaya. He got down from the chariot, aviplito ratasya, took up its wheel, ritam adhikritam, and ran towards me hurriedly. Drita rato charano abhayachaladur, just as a lion does to kill an elephant. Harir ivahantum ibyam. Ibyam is elephant. He even dropped his upper garment on the way. Gatottori. So, uh, how Krishna is a servant of Arjuna, you can see here. To protect Arjuna, Krishna broke his own promise. This is a statement of Bhishma on leaving his body. Krishna gave up his promise, Nigamam Apaya, to take up arms in a war. I also made an oath to make Krishna take up arms. Those standing in Arjuna's chariot, to make my oath come true, Krishna got down on the ground and took the chariot wheel in his hand. That's why Kaunteya Pratijani Name Bhakta Pranishati. Krishna says, oh Arjuna, you take a vow, because if I take a vow, I might break my vow and people will not have faith. But Arjuna, if you take a vow, I will maintain your vow. That is how this is the quality of Bhakta Vatsal. Being absorbed in this, his top cloth fell off, Gata Uttari, and by that absorption, with his manifested power, the earth shook. He came towards me to kill me, but did not do so. May that Mukunda be the object of my mind. That is stated in the next verse. He was like a lion attacking an elephant me. His sense of friendship with its devotion detected a trace of past devotion in me, who by fate have now become a great offender to Krishna and his friend Arjuna. In addition, such friendship increased my glory while decreasing his glory. Bhishma's glory increased and Krishna's glory decreased. Krishna alone had such friendship with his pure devotees at all times. Krishna's favoritism towards his devotees was exhibited in his fight with Bhishma. When grandfather Bhishma was lying at the point of death on the bed of arrows, Krishna was present before him, and Bhishma was remembering how Krishna had been kind to him on the battlefield. Krishna had promised that in the battle of Kurukshetra, he would not even touch a weapon to help either side. He would remain neutral. Although Krishna was Arjuna's charioteer, he had promised that he would not help Arjuna by using any weapons. But one day, Bhishma, in order to nullify Krishna's promise, exhibited his fighting spirit so magnificently against Arjuna that Krishna was obliged to get down from his chariot. Taking up a broken chariot wheel, he ran towards grandfather Bhishma as a lion runs towards an elephant to kill it. Grandfather Bhishma remembered this scene And he later praised Krishna for his glorious favoritism towards his devotee Arjuna, even at the risk of breaking his own promise. So that is regarding the two aspects of the quality of Bhakt Surit. Okay, any questions on this up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? So we will stop. It's sharp 8:15. We will stop now. And 40th quality onwards, we will take up next week. So there are 64 qualities. So maybe another 3 classes or 4, 5 classes, we should finish it. And then we'll come back to the Vishay Alambana, and then there is a Ashraya Alambana. We'll go to that. We'll go enter back into the deep understanding of the concepts of rasa, which especially Vibhav. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.